So today, let's talk about a company that didn't just improve the car or electrify the car. Nope, they literally invented it. We're diving deep into Mercedes-Benz, a brand that's been built on a staggering 140-year legacy of engineering firsts.
But here's the thing, that incredible legacy, it creates this massive tension, right? How is it even possible that the company that put the entire world on wheels is now finding the road ahead, well, kind of rocky? That is the big question we're going to unpack here.
And believe me, this struggle is absolutely real. Just look at this, a massive 22% global drop in their battery electric vehicle sales in 2024. I mean, that's not a dip, that's a nosedive. It was so bad, in fact, that they had to publicly walk back their big all-electric push. So, how on earth did they get here? Well, to figure that out, we've got to go way, way back to the very beginning.
All right, let's rewind the clock. I mean, to really get how a giant like this could stumble, you have to look at its DNA, right from the very start, back in the 1880s. This is where the legend was forged.
Okay, so get this. The car was basically invented twice in the same year by two different groups of people, just 60 miles apart. In 1886, you had Carl Benz patenting his Motorwagen, and at the exact same time, Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach were building their own version. Now, these guys never even met. They were rivals for decades until the economy forced their companies to merge in 1926, creating the icon we know today.
But the story of the first real road trip? Oh, it's just incredible. It wasn't Carl Benz. Nope. In 1888, his wife, Bertha, without even telling him, just took the car and drove it over 100 kilometers to prove it worked. Along the way, the brakes wore out. So what did she do? She stopped at a shoe shop, had the cobbler nail some leather onto the brake blocks, and just like that, she invents the world's first brake pad. Talk about a marketing stunt and a brilliant piece of engineering all rolled into one.
And right from these wild early days, this core belief started to form, a mantra that would drive the company for over a century: the best or nothing. And let me tell you, this wasn't just some catchy slogan for an ad. It was a direct order to every single engineer.
So when you look at that company DNA, you see it's kind of split in two. On one hand, you've got this incredible, relentless drive for innovation that has literally saved millions of lives. And on the other, a capacity for a screw-up so big they still teach it in business schools. Just look at this list of safety firsts. It perfectly shows you that good side of their DNA. Mercedes basically invented the safety features we all just assume are in our cars today. The crumple zone, anti-lock brakes, the modern airbag, electronic stability control, they brought all of these to market, often decades before the law said they had to. But then, there's the other side, and it comes with a massive price tag. $30 billion. That's the estimated value that just vanished in what was supposed to be a merger of equals.
So what happened? Well, back in 1998, Daimler-Benz merged with Chrysler. On paper, it sounded great, right? German engineering meets American mass-market muscle. But it was a total train wreck. The cultures just did not mix. You had these German engineers who were obsessed with perfection and long-term quality, totally clashing with an American approach that was all about moving fast and cutting costs. The whole thing fell apart, and 9 years later, Daimler basically had to pay another company to just take Chrysler away.
You know, that massive failure left some deep scars, but it also taught Mercedes a hugely important lesson. You do not mess with the brand. And that lesson is the driving force behind their entire strategy today, which is a full-on return to what made them famous: pure, uncompromising luxury.
So the current CEO, Ola Källenius, came in and just completely flipped the script. The old way of thinking, chasing sales numbers to try and beat BMW, is gone. The new game is all about profit margins. They're actually getting rid of their cheaper, entry-level cars so they can pour all their resources into the really exclusive stuff. You know, the S-Class, the AMGs, and the super fancy Maybachs. And just because they're focused on luxury doesn't mean that innovation DNA is gone. Not at all. Check this out. Drive Pilot. This is not just another cruise control system. It is the world's first certified Level 3 autonomous system. That means on certain highways, you can legally, and I mean legally, take your hands off the wheel, take your eyes off the road, and chill. Mercedes got there first, period.
So, what's the game plan looking forward? It's pretty clear. First, they're building their own software from the ground up, the MB.OS. This is huge because it means they control the whole experience in the car, not some other tech company. They're also pushing even deeper into ultra-luxury with these new Mythos collector cars. They're defending their turf in China with special models just for that market. And critically, after their first EVs kind of missed the mark, they've learned a lesson. The next generation of electric cars has to look and feel like a real Mercedes.
Okay, so this all brings us to the big one, the final, crucial question that really frames the company's entire challenge for the next 10 years.
It helps to look at their main rivals to see how they're trying to stand out. So against BMW, they're pushing that higher level of luxury with Maybach. Against Tesla, their big selling point is build quality and that classic plush luxury feel. And then you've got the super fast-moving Chinese EV brands, and against them, Mercedes' trump card is that 140-year story, that unbeatable heritage.
And that leaves us with the ultimate billion-dollar question for Mercedes-Benz. As the car becomes, basically a computer on wheels, what are luxury buyers going to care about most? Will it be that incredible legacy, the brand, the century of engineering that says, "I've made it"? Or will it be the company with the smartest AI, the slickest software, and the fastest updates, no matter who they are? The answer to that is going to define the next 100 years for the company that started it all.